report on my end. So I've hit recording. And according to the button, we are recording.
Buttons don't lie.
That's right. How the Long Brothers doing today? Good?
We're good.
We're good. We're excited. This sounds very arrogant, but it's enjoyable to talk about this movie that we spent so long making. Now it's just fun to talk about.
And I even want to start out with that because that's something that I know my brothers and I had always enjoyed too over the years. Justin, what's it like just to work with your brother and, to write it, produce
it? It's the best. You have brothers as well? Yeah, it's just fun to hang out. I mean, we started writing this. We came up with the idea. All of the whole beginnings of it were just an excuse or a byproduct of just hanging out and having fun. I remember when after we outlined it, we each split up scenes to write. And I was working in London and kind of homesick. I was working on this show that I had a smaller part, and so I had a lot of time off, and it was so fun. It was a way to stay connected. It was I would write a scene, and he would write the next one, and we'd send each other the scenes and then revise each other's stuff. So it was a way to kind of stay connected even when we were far apart. It's the best. There's nobody I trust more, whose sensibility I trust. We have similar, almost the same sense of humor. So I feel like we make each other funnier and better.
All right. And Christian, talk a little bit about how did this whole story come about? It's a very unique, situation to go along with.
Well, thanks. Yeah, unique is good, I hope. It started a couple of years ago. We had an idea for a comedic version of Psycho, which sounds crazy, and it probably is, which is why we didn't make it. But basically, it's, instead of Norman Bates's mother inspiring murder, she was just kind of annoying to him and interfered in his personal life. And so that was the dynamic that we thought might be funny. But then we thought that might be a little too inherently tragic to deal with the ghost of your mother. But that dynamic kind of morphed into what we have now, which is this odd couple with a tour guide and the ghost of the person she's portraying. So we thought that was just a clearer odd couple dynamic.
We'd always loved odd couple movies that we kind of grew up watching. Yeah, I mean, I see Chaplin. You must love Laurel and Hardy like we do.
Yeah.
Those were always our bread and butter. And what about Bob? And then the great ones they were making in the 80s, Frank Oz and John Hughes, and then the Cable Guy and movies like that were just huge inspirations to us.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, and you've got, Melanie, I've seen her, of course, over the time, in so many other movies. She plays the great quirky person in this. I mean, it's just like you look at her and it is almost like that. Okay, I can't look because I know you're going to do something, but I got to look because she's funny as heck.
Oh, good. That's so great. Yeah. We had never seen her do that. I know she's done comedy, but we were more familiar with her as just an incredible dramatic actress. But I had gotten to work with her a couple of years earlier. We played parents of this kid who commits this horrible crime. And so we were working on a dark movie, but off camera, she was so fun to we laughed so much together. It was just so much fun to be around that I knew she had a great sense of humor. And so we thought we'd try. I mean, we weren't holding our breath when we sent it to her, because this is, there are a lot of fart jokes and some raunchier stuff and there's a ghost who is annoying. I mean, it's not what you immediately think of when you think of someone like Melanie Lynskey, but frankly, I don't want to speak for her, but I think that's kind of why she wanted to do it. It was a challenge for her, and God, we just got so lucky with her.
Oh, for sure. And Christian, you also had Detroit's own Judy Greer as well.
Oh, that's
right. Being her.
Michigan native. Yeah. She is, people have been saying this and we've been agreeing with it, that she is a national treasure. Mm-hmm. And she, it's like whatever movie Judy Greer's in, it's like a pretty good bet that it's going to be good, because she's in it. And part of that is because she elevates everything. And in this particular case, that role was more the straight character. And it was written more that way. Uh-huh. And Judy brought so much comedic life and fun that we didn't know was in that character too. Yeah. And so we got really lucky that she made that part much more fun than it was written.
We were surprised. We thought it'd be hard to attract someone close to her caliber to play that part because of what Christian said, that it was like very clearly the straight character, the straight man and woman. And Judy, we didn't see most of that. I mean, we can't take credit for it. She just brought this little moments, you know, like little, she found so much comedy that we just hadn't seen.
Right. And now you both directed as well as produced it and wrote it. Who picked what scene they were going to direct, or did you do it together or, you know, separately?
We did it together. We wrote separately, but
we split up scenes.
Yeah, but we directed together. Justin is, I would say, did more of the on-set communication just because he's, I would say, a better communicator than I am.
I don't.
But we always made sure we were on the same page and we agreed. So it was just a matter of who was going to deliver the message.
Yeah.
But we were always in lockstep, I would say.
It's funny. We've been getting that question, and we hadn't. There wasn't a part, you know, before we started shooting, there wasn't a moment where we needed to kind of determine, we needed to draw up.
We didn't really have a plan.
Yeah, we didn't.
We didn't.
It was just like, well, let's see. But that's kind of how we were with the writing, even. I mean, pre-production, we just kind of like, let's see what happens. We fell into a groove pretty quickly, which, yeah, like Christian said, I usually talked more, but you were definitely just as hands-on with what notes to give. And then certainly when I was in a scene, I relied entirely on Christian, because it was very hard. Before this, we had made a web series that I was in pretty much every frame of, and that was very difficult to it's very difficult for me to be in a scene and be able to see it with any clear objectivity.
Right. Got it right there along with you. And then also, just even the story itself, it's funny, it's quirky and different things like that. But the message, you know, especially when you get to the end, it's like, oh, this is so great. You know, we won't give the ending away, but, you know, just with what happened, it's like fantastic.
Yeah, our whole, that's so nice to hear, because our whole MO was to make people laugh. I mean, first and foremost, that's our goal. But we also definitely were aware of some of these other themes that exist in it. And yeah, I don't want to give anything away either, but we are proud of saying something, you know, making some sort of statement at the end.
We wanted there to be some kind of message, but like Christian said, we didn't want the message or even the plot. I know that sounds good. We didn't want that to overwhelm the simplicity of, you know, the watching those two different people interact and not get along and get along. You know, that was our main agenda. But we're always happy to hear if people gleaned something more meaningful.
Oh, right. No, definitely. And also, you know, nice to see like Patrick Duffy in the movie. And you know, I mean, obviously
so great. Well, that you know what that did is, among other things, we were flattered that he wanted to do it, because we grew up watching him and we loved Step by Step, but our mother, it really legitimized the movie in her eyes. You know, and that's what you want ultimately. You want your parents to be proud, and
so we got Bobby Ewing in our movie. Like that is like huge.
She was excited. She doesn't know newer actors as much, and so we couldn't really brag about the other cast, but that was a big deal.
And he turned out to be one of the nicest people we've ever met. So
like,
yeah,
overwhelming,
like genuinely nice person.
Yeah.
And I can see your mom now going, at the end, are you going to show him in the shower and it all just wound up being a dream? You know, just like, no, Mom, done 30 years ago. It's good. It's all good.
On.
Well, Long Brothers, I appreciate your time. I enjoyed watching your movie. Always great to see you, Justin. Christian, a pleasure meeting you, and hope to see you again.
Likewise. Thank you, Greg. That was really fun.
We really appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words.
You got it. Take care, guys.
All right. Talk soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.